Hi guys, welcome to my channel, May's Corner. As an GP Registrar who has been successful with the AKT exam with my colleagues, I thought it wise to do a series of videos to offer guidance to others. So if you're a GP Registrar who is here to take this exam, this is a video you don't want to miss. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel to be able to see more videos which I believe will be helpful for preparing for this exam. This would include useful website links, how to access free Rcgp exam resources, and make the most out of them. This was very helpful to my colleagues and I believe that you may find them useful as well. So the AKT, which is the Applied Knowledge Test, is a crucial exam necessary to successfully complete the GP training program. It is a computer-based test which comprises 200 questions. 160 of them are clinical, 20 are evidence-based or statistics questions, and 20 of them are admin questions. GP registrars eligible to take the exam must be in ST2 at least, but in my opinion, it's advisable to do this in ST2 as there are other hurdles in ST3. The duration of the exam is 3 hours 10 minutes, and it is taken in Pearson VUE centers. So these are the centers where we usually take our driving theory exam tests. There is the possibility of getting extra time for this exam if you are deemed eligible. And for this, you need to submit an RA1 form for special circumstances in case of conditions like pregnancy or if you have dyslexia and so on. Next, I'll be talking about some useful tips that helped us as a group in the exam. So the first is early preparation. Guys, the scope or curriculum is very, very broad, and I say broad in capital letters. Please do not underestimate this exam. So we found it helpful to begin preparation in ST1 second rotation after acquainting ourselves with the training program to some extent. We found it important to read through the AKT content guide and the MRCGP curriculum, which are available on the Rcgp website. I'll be dropping links to the various documents in the comment section. So next, we use 9CK's guidelines. This is the go-to Bible in GP training for reference and protocols. For theoretical knowledge as well, the passmedicine textbook was helpful as it had summarized keynotes on various topic areas. So whilst consulting in the GP posts during our rotations, that's for those of us who had GP rotation in ST1, we found it helpful to have these two resources, that's the 9CKS and the passmedicine textbook, open on tabs on our computers, and we had a quick read on presenting conditions of patients when time permitted as we saw the patients. This not only helped our communication and consultation to be more effective, but also helped us to retain some theoretical knowledge for the AKT exam. So we had a small group of about 5 registrars, and we held our regular virtual meetings via Skype. So we started with weekly meetings in the second rotation in ST1. So it was once a week to solve a set number of questions from the question banks. Then in ST2, we increased the frequency of our meetings. We found Skype helpful for our meetings, first of all because it was free and we had an unlimited meeting duration. It also offered us the opportunity to have a chat and discuss verbally, as well as to save our chats and screenshots from our discussions for easy reference as individuals or as a group when the need arose. So in preparation for the exam, we came across a number of resources which I'm going to share, and it would be helpful if you explore these to see what works for you. So on my left-hand side, you can see the Rcgp resources. The first is GP self-tests, and most registrars have had a chat with regarding this exam say that you definitely need to go through the GP self-test question bank, which is from the Rcgp. And also there is the Innovate AKT question bank, which is absolutely free as well if you're a member of the Rcgp as an associate in training, which I know most of us GP registrars are. Then there's also the Essential Knowledge Updates and Challenges question bank, similar to GP self-tests, but has different questions, also very useful. Dr. Aman Aurora and the eMedica also have free videos which you can watch on Facebook, and Dr. Aurora also has some useful videos on Instagram, so you can check those out as well. On my right hand side, we've got resources that require paid subscription, and also a book that you could find useful if you could buy it or download online. So I'll start with passmedicine. So passmedicine is a question bank. Most of us may have been familiar with this in the past. So for PLAB, for MSRA, they've got question banks, and they've got a question bank for AKT as well. So this requires a paid subscription. Then there's also the BMJ on examination question bank by the BMJ, which also has questions with information on guidelines, protocols according to the NICE guidelines. There's also the 14 Fish AKT package, which has clinical videos as well as videos on statistics. Personally, I found the videos on statistics helpful for the clinical bit. It is helpful generally for clinical practice. Some registrars feel it's not really helpful for the exam. Some also feel that it helps because you can basically play the videos and just listen to get information rather than reading a textbook or text. iMedics also has a question bank you could explore. There's also past tests question bank. Then Medica and Aurora also have question banks. They have courses, online courses that you can subscribe to. Then there is the Oxford Handbook of General Practice, which overall is helpful in our practice as GPs, and it's got sections on admin, which you can find useful for those sets of questions. It's also got summarized notes on clinical presentations, which you can use as reference. Now, to booking the exam, this is done online, and there are various times in the year where the exam can be taken. It is important to note that booking the exam can be competitive, so you have to be on the lookout on the website to find out the dates that the portal will be open, and make sure you are ready to book on that day to avoid disappointment. The exam is expensive, and therefore I believe that it deserves the necessary attention to pass it once and for all to save your money. So prior to the exam, or let's say a few weeks to the exam, it's helpful to practice with the question bank mocks, because this helps you to practice your time management. It's helpful to book your study leave ahead of time as well. Visit the exam center if you're not familiar with the area, because people have had issues with finding places to park on their way to the exam center, and that could waste your time. If you arrive late, you may not be allowed to take the exam. Make sure you have the relevant ID. All the necessary information will be sent to you via email by the RCGP, so you know which IDs you need to prepare to take along for the exam. And make sure you have enough rest the day before the exam. On the day of the exam, don't forget your two forms of identification. Arrive early. Make sure you've got some change for parking just in case, because some of the parking lots may accept only points or notes, that's cash. And if you don't have that, it may waste your time getting to the exam center. Be wary of time. You have less than a minute for each question. So, as much as possible, ensure that you're managing your time very well. Don't panic. You need to try to stay calm so that you wouldn't skim through questions and end up choosing wrong answers. And answer all questions. Remember, there is no negative marking, so as much as possible, answer all questions to maximize your chance of passing this exam. So next, I'll be talking about the results. And obviously, everyone preparing for this exam wants to pass. So on the day the results are released, that is usually about 4 weeks after the exam is taken, this is how the results will be presented on your 14 fish portfolio. So you would see a green tick at the results section if you've passed, and your exam name will be stated, the month and the year you took the exam, your overall score, the pass mark, and the overall cohort mean. So you'll be able to compare your score with the average performance. So the marks will also be broken down into the clinical knowledge section, where you know your score out of 160, and the evidence-based practice questions, you know your score out of 20, and that for organization and management, you also get to know your score out of 20 as well. So this is this has been a short video to let you know of my experience and what helped my colleagues and I. And I'll be doing another video on how to access the free AKT resources by the RCGP. It's important to make use of these because we end up paying for our membership, and these are questions we have access to for free. However, those who are not members will need to pay for these question banks. So these include the RCGP Innovate AKT Question Bank, the RCGP Essential Knowledge Updates Challenge Questions, and GP Self-Test. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I wish you the very best in your exam. Take care. Bye.